Today we're going to go over the top 12 things to consider before getting a new wooden fence. Hey, I'm Charley Chili with Jalapeño Fence Co. here in DFW, Texas. Let's start with what might make a wooden fence good for you. If you're replacing an old fence or you don't have one at all, you're probably looking for three things: privacy, security, and curb appeal. The great thing is, a well-built wooden fence gives you all three, while also adding value to your property. Now, fencing isn't the cheapest project, it's an investment. But what makes wood fences unique is how customizable they are. You can keep it simple, or you can go all in with premium cedar, heavy-duty steel posts, and basically build yourself a fortress. So whether you want to keep it simple or you want to go all out, there's almost always a design that fits your needs. Once you've decided on wood, the next question is, what style do you want? With wood fencing, the possibilities are endless, but the most common ones here in DFW, Texas are vertical side-by-side, vertical board-on-board, horizontal side-by-side, and horizontal board-on-board. Then you can add caps, trim, kickboards, or other details to personalize it. To make things easier for our customers, we actually give more popular combinations their own name. For example, an 8-foot vertical board-on-board cedar fence with cap and double trim, we call the Sequoia. Let's say you want a full privacy fence with a modern look, you could go with an Estacado. Something more basic, you could go with something like the Brownstone. Whatever style you choose, the key is choosing what you prefer for your needs and wants. Also keep in mind, the price is typically higher at the top of these fence styles and goes down as you scroll down here. How long will a wood fence last in Texas, and how do I make it last longer? The truth is, how long the fence lasts depends on three things: the materials, how it's built, and how it's maintained. If you're using high quality wood like Western red cedar, thick steel posts set deep in concrete, and the right build specs, that fence can easily last 30 years or more with basic maintenance. A more economical fence, still good quality, might last around 8 to 15 years depending on materials. The biggest factor after installation is maintenance. Restain every 3 to 5 years, keep plants trimmed back, avoid sprinklers hitting the fence, and make sure soil doesn't pile up against the bottom. Do those few things and your fence will look great and stay strong for decades. How can I tell if my fence will actually hold up in Texas, and how do I know the installer isn't cutting corners? A lot of fences look great the day they're built, but the real difference shows a few years later, especially after the first Texas storm. Here's what separates a fence that lasts from the one that fails. First, the posts. They're the backbone. You want thick steel, at least 16 gauge or 6-foot fences, or 13 gauge for 8-foot fences, set deep in solid concrete. Remember, the lower the gauge, the thicker the post. Next, the rails and kickboard. A good fence will have 3 rails for a 6-foot fence, 4 for an 8-foot, plus a 2x6 treated kickboard to protect the pickets from moisture and weed eaters. And finally, the craftsmanship. The boards should be tight, level, and consistent. No gaps at the brackets, no reused posts, no mismatched wood. A few small differences in how it's built can mean the difference between a fence that lasts 5 years or 30. What are the different types of wood fences, and which is better for my home? There are a lot of wood options out there. Depending on who you ask, there are easily dozens of combinations of different species, grades, and thicknesses. But after years of replacing fences all over North Texas that didn't hold up, it really comes down to 2 types or species of wood that make sense here: Western red cedar and Japanese cedar. Western red cedar is the gold standard, naturally resistant to rot, decay, and insects, and handles Texas heat and humidity incredibly well. Japanese cedar is very similar, slightly more budget friendly, and still performs great in our climate. Just be aware, not everything labeled cedar is a real cedar. Some imported Chinese cedar looks good at first, but warps, cracks, and fades fast. On top of the type of wood, you also have the different grades of wood. You've got clear, number 1, number 2, and number 3. The lower the number, the higher the quality. Clear is most flawless but expensive. 1 looks great. Number 2 gives you the best balance of quality and price. Number 3 is a lower grade option that some builders use to save money, but it usually has more cracks and knots and doesn't hold up as long. So that's something to be aware of. And then finally, you've got the true dimensions and thickness. This one's overlooked a lot. It's a common practice in lumber to call a picket like this a 1x6. However, that 1 refers to the thickness and can mean 4 different things. Common picket thicknesses are 1/2 inch, 5/8, 3/4, and even 1 inch boards. But they're all called 1. The thicker the board, the stronger and longer it lasts. 5/8 is good, 3/4 and 1 are more rare, but good upgrades. Just make sure you know exactly what you're getting. Too thin of a board, like a 1/2 inch, and you'll get warping way more easily. So, you've got the type of cedar, the grade, and the true dimensions. And keep in mind this applies to the rails too, like if you're getting a 2x3 or a 2x4, for example. By the way, always make sure you're getting at least 2x4s for your rails. How do you make sure you get the right wood? Bottom line, always ask your contractor what type of wood they're using, what grade it is, and what the true dimensions are. If you forget everything else in this video, remember these 3 things. This can add 10 to 15 years to your fence's lifespan. What to expect when looking for a wooden fence? If you've been in the market for a new fence, here's some things to be aware of. Some installers save money with thinner posts, less concrete, or cheaper wood, and some use subcontractors or laborers who don't follow consistent standards. A professional installer should walk you through the details of post thickness, hole depth, concrete volume, wood grade, number of rails, and warranty coverage. As a homeowner, the best thing you can do is ask clear questions and compare specifics, not just price. For example, if you're getting a 6-foot cedar fence, what are you actually getting? You need much more detail than just a cedar fence to make sure whether you're getting a 5-year fence or a 30-year fence. Do I need a permit or HOA approval for a wood fence? In most cities in DFW, you'll need a permit if your fence is taller than 6 feet or if you're changing the fence line. Some cities require a permit no matter what, even for shorter fences. If you live in a neighborhood with an HOA, you'll almost always need their approval first, even for minor replacements. Other common situations that trigger a permit include living on a corner lot, building in your front yard, or adding a driveway gate for vehicles. The easiest rule of thumb, when in doubt, just pull a permit and get approval from your HOA. Permits are usually about $50 to $200. Is that my fence or my neighbor's? Here's the thing about who owns the fence on the property. If the fence is on the property line, both you and the neighbor own it and have rights to it. If you want to quickly find your property line, find your house survey or plot plan that you were given when you bought your home, then measure the distance between your house and the property line based on what the survey says, and there you go. You'll know where your property line is. You can always hire a surveyor too if you want to be really sure. They're usually about $500 or so. How long until my fence is installed? Lead times vary depending on the season, weather, and demand. In DFW, the average timeline for a professional fence company is usually about 2 to 8 weeks. Shorter in the winter, longer in the spring and summer. Once installation starts, most fences take 1 to 3 days to complete. Larger projects or those with driveway gates or retaining walls might take a few extra days. So overall, plan for your fence to be fully complete within a month or 2 from signing an agreement. Can I customize my wood fence, and what upgrades are actually worth it? One of the best things about wood fencing is how customizable it is. You can tailor the materials, layout, and details to fit your home and your budget. Some of the most valuable upgrades include caps and trim, which add protection and polish, kickboards, which keep pickets off the ground and prevent rot, thicker pickets like 3/4 inch cedar for strength and longevity, decorative options like horizontal layouts, lattice tops, or black metal framing. And one of the best upgrades you can make is a steel-framed walk gate with heavy-duty hinges. Gates are often the first part of a fence to sag or fail, but a welded steel frame keeps it square and swinging smoothly for years. If longevity is your priority, invest in better posts, thicker wood, and a steel-framed gate. If curb appeal matters most, caps, trim, and stain make the biggest difference. The goal is simple: build a fence that's strong, functional, and beautiful. What should I expect from a good fence warranty, and what's usually not covered? A good fence warranty should cover both materials and workmanship. For example, quality cedar materials often come with a 4-year warranty, and workmanship coverage is usually about the same. Steel materials may carry a 10-year warranty, and heavy steel posts can even have a lifetime guarantee against structural failure. What's not covered is important too. Things like weather damage, soil movement, stain fading, and normal wear over time. Pine materials are usually excluded since they're prone to warping. In short, know exactly what's being protected, what isn't, and who's responsible if something goes wrong. A clear warranty is a strong sign that the installer stands behind their work. What is 811? 811 is a free service that marks your utility lines. If you are going to dig, you are required by law to call 811. And when I say utility lines, that means gas pipe, electricity, internet lines, telephone, and some others. This is a key step to take before your fence project starts. You don't want to damage any utilities. It could lead to having to pay multiple thousands of dollars, and in some cases, if you hit a big enough gas pipe, for example, it can be fatal, although rare. And calling 811 isn't just a one and done thing. Sometimes you have to submit what's called a no response ticket if not all lines are marked within 48 business hours. And then if it still isn't marked, then you may have to escalate further. But the point is, whoever's installing your fence, make sure they call 811 and that they have experience in making sure it's always done correctly. And one last thing on 811. They don't mark private lines. This includes sprinklers, pool piping, drainage, sewage, water lines, outdoor lighting, and more. If you aren't sure and you want to be extra safe, you can always hire a private locator. If you're thinking of adding a vehicle gate to your fence, check this other video out to see the top things to consider before buying one. Hopefully that was helpful. If you're in DFW and you'd like a quote from us, you can visit our website or submit a form or shoot us a call.